Hello, it's Jennifer here, and welcome to Hive, the Healthy Inspirations virtual education channel on YouTube. My name's Jennifer Allen, and I'm so honored to be here talking with you guys about biohacks for better spring. So really, what I'd love to share with you are tips that can help you transition from winter into spring, feeling healthy, feeling vital, and staying well. So again, my name's Jennifer. I am a yoga teacher. I am an Ayurvedic wellness coach, and I'm a nature guide. And I love working with people and guiding them into their unlimited potential through aligning with the daily habits and the seasonal cycles that are inherent in the wisdom of yoga and Ayurveda. So, which leads me to spring, to talking about spring, and to sharing with you simple daily habits that you can do to stay healthy and well. So, first of all, a little bit about the transition from winter to spring. So during winter, we accumulated we and the environment accumulated, right? In nature, there was a lot of snow and ice that was accumulated, and maybe in us some heaviness as well, or some weight. And as the snow and ice begin to melt, the rivers become full, they are flowing, and the earth is heavy and saturated with water. And so earth and water make mud, which is very sticky and congested, right? And so we too can become, at the end of winter, beginning of spring, we can become congested, right? We can have colds or allergies or hay fever. And some of us can feel quite heavy, right? We maybe have gained some weight from winter. And we can even feel static, like lethargic. So how can we transition into spring? And this season has a quality of cold and heavy and wet and static. So according to Ayurveda, we want to balance those qualities, right? And that will bring us into vitality. So we want to balance cold with warming. We want to balance wet with drying. We want to balance heavy with light or energizing. And we want to balance static with mobile or mobility. Okay? And here are my top 5 tips to do that. The number one thing is to hydrate with warm water. Warm water will allow us to flush our toxins, to move out our waste, to lubricate our cells, and to dissolve the nutrients that we do take in. So it's really important to drink warm water, especially during this cold time of year. So the warm water will balance the cold of the environment. And warm water can also encourage the flow of our lymph system. And our lymph system is our number one detoxifier or trash removal or waste removal system in the body. So warm water will help to flush that and to move the lymph, and cold water can actually constrict vessels and lead to more toxic buildup. Okay, so we ideally want to drink half of our ideal body weight in warm water. So if your ideal body weight is 150 pounds, you would want to drink 75 ounces of warm water a day. So how do we do that, right? So what I like to do is grab a thermos. So there's a lot of thermos on the market nowadays. You could even use like a Stanley thermos that you might have used camping. So anything that can keep your water warm. What I love to do is fill it up the night before. As I'm kind of winding down my kitchen and finishing my cooking for the day, I will heat boiling water. I will fill it up in the thermos and put that where I will see it first thing in the morning. So for me, that is my bathroom. So I know it's right there, and I can begin drinking it. For others, it might be the kitchen or at the back door if you let the dog out first thing. But the tip would be to drink the warm water and to prep that warm water the night before. So it is ready for you. It's visual, it's in your environment, you see it, and you can begin to drink that water. Okay? So that's number one, drinking warm water. Number two is to spice it up. Use spices to begin to bring the warming, heating, energizing qualities through our diet. And the number one spice for springtime is black pepper. And we want to use pepper that has peppercorns. So fresh ground black pepper, is the best, because as you grind the pepper, it releases those oils, and it's really more in a readily available and more effective method. Okay, so black pepper is our number one spring spice. Black pepper is also known as black gold in Ayurveda because it has qualities of light and dry and pungent and bitter, and those are exactly the qualities that we need in spring to bring balance. Right? Black pepper can decongest us. It can liquefy stagnation, which will clear the channels. Right? It often opens our sinuses, and it can detoxify the liver and detoxify us through the process of sweating. So black pepper promotes sweating. So how do I use black pepper? Well, we can use it in a number of ways. We can put it on our prepared food. We can cook with it in our recipes. But the thing that I love to do, which can help us drink that warm water that we already need to do, is to make tea. And so number one tea would be a roasted dandelion tea. This is a common brand from Traditional Medicinals. You can find this at most grocery stores, most certainly online. It's relatively inexpensive. You could also harvest your own dandelion, dig up the dandelion roots, dry that out, and steep your own tea. But if you want to go the convenient route, this is already done for you. So you'll make tea by steeping the dandelion root, adding freshly ground black pepper to this drink, and lastly, raw honey. And so that's a really good spring elixir or spring tonic to help decongest our system. So the number two tip is to use spices, okay? Number three, we want to stimulate and circulate, right? There's often a hibernation or a stagnation from winter. And so we want to stimulate and circulate our system, And a great way to do that is through a technique called dry brushing. And dry brushing can be done with just the hands. It can also be done with dry brushing gloves. I have found these on Amazon. It's a raw silk dry brushing glove, okay? Or you could use a brush. So there's body brushes that you can purchase as well. But if you don't need to make any purchases. You can simply use the healing power of your own hands to do this work. Okay, so dry brushing increases the circulation of our lymph system and helps to move out that stagnation or congestion. This can be done in just 1 minute a day. So you'll take the hands, place it on your body, okay, and you will do long strokes on the long bones, okay, towards the heart, and circular movements on the joints. So on the wrist, on the elbow, on the shoulders, and then long movements in towards the heart, okay? And what you want to do is start at your feet, right? So start with your feet, move to the ankles, move up the legs on the long bones, circling through ankle, knee, and hip. And so do one leg, then the other, and then do one arm and then the other, and then bring it in towards the chest and breast. The belly can be done circular motions, and the buttocks can be done as well. And so by starting with the feet, we're moving the energy up, right? So that heavy earth grounded energy that we can wake with, we can start to move the energy up towards the body, the heart, and up towards the brain. So dry brushing is something that you want to do soon after rising. Like if you get up, go to the bathroom, you can then do a minute or two of dry brushing. Again, long strokes on the long bones, circular motion on the joints. Okay, so that was tip number 3, to really stimulate and circulate our system. Tip number 4 is to move in the morning. This could be 1 minute, right? These practices can be 1 minute or they can be more. Maybe they're 5 minutes or 10 minutes. And moving in the morning, this is shortly after rising, right? You might go to the bathroom, you might do your dry brushing and drink your water during this process, and then move your body, right? We are still for hopefully 7 to 8 to 9 hours a night. And we want to shake off that sluggishness of sleep. We want to reduce that stagnation. And we want to increase our energy for the day and increase our vitality. This would also help aid in the digestive process to move in the morning. So what might this look like? This might look like when you let the dog out, you walk down to the mailbox and back. This might look like jumping rope or jumping jacks, right? Where you're really just up and down with the body, jumping on your trampoline if you have one, either an indoor or outdoor. This might be dancing, right? Like getting some music on and moving the body in that way. If you are into yoga and have a yoga practice, this might be a couple of sun salutes. So we really want to move our body in the morning. And this doesn't have to be your only workout of the day. Sometimes we wait till I have to get to the gym or I have to do an hour-long yoga class at the yoga studio, and you can still do that, right? And you can still take your dog for an hour walk. But this is really just to get up and move the body in the morning to shake off that stagnation and sluggishness and to increase our energy and our consciousness and our receptivity for the day, okay? This connects our physical body and our mental, emotional body through the breath body. So important. That's tip number 4. Tip number 5 is to go green. We want to consume greens in the morning. This will also increase our energy. This will increase the lightness and energizing qualities that we want to start our day with, in spring particularly, but throughout the year. So how do you do this? How do you get greens on board your system first thing or, very early in the morning? And so I recommend, and Ayurveda recommends, having a green drink 30 minutes before your breakfast. For some of us, the green drink will be enough. For others, we will want to follow it with a nutritious breakfast. Why 30 minutes? Fruit and vegetables, especially fruits, can break down very quickly in the body. So if we get that first, it will have time to start its digestive process and go through a lot of that process before we bring on heavier foods. So I have an example of my morning smoothie that I have prepped here. And I do it very simply. I put everything in one of these plastic containers, blender containers, and then I blend it all together. So this drink right here is a bit of cucumber, a few dandelion leaves, a few spinach leaves, a little bit of apple and a little bit of pear, a squeeze of fresh lemon, a little bit of fresh grated ginger, and water. And then I blend it up. So this may look different for you, but the idea is to bring in as many greens as you can, as many green things. Greens have high chlorophyll, they have a high amount of energy in their nutritional value, and so this is something that we want to start our day with, right? We want to bring in energy through the foods we're bringing in. Okay, and I guarantee you a green drink will do that for you. So, as many greens as you can. If you need a little sweetness, add a bit of fruit. I don't do any additional sweetener at all in my green drinks. Maybe a little lime or lemon. And then you can use spices. You could use black pepper in your morning drink. You could use ginger. You could use cinnamon. So be creative, play with what feels and tastes good to you and what's calling you for your morning green drink. So to recap, just briefly, how are we going to transition from this cold, light, dry, mobile qualities of winter to cold, wet, heavy, static qualities of spring? Number 1, hydrate with warm water. Number 2, use spices. Number 3, circulate and stimulate your system. Number 4, move your body in the morning. And number 5, go green by bringing in green drink first thing in the morning. All right, I hope that you've enjoyed this short video on biohacks for a better spring. Again, I'm so thankful and honored I could be here on the Hive to share this with you. Post any comments or questions below and I'd be glad to address those. All right, thank you so much and have a wonderful day.